Wrongful deaths can happen from any type of accident. Wrongful death is, I call it an animal created by law, by Texas law, that allows certain people to sue for the wrongful death of a person. And generally, the people that can sue for a wrongful death are immediate family members. It's limited to a spouse, children, and the parents. The steps to a wrongful death lawsuit are generally first filing an estate for the person who died, and usually a close family member is appointed administrator of that estate. The suit is then on behalf of the what we call statutory beneficiaries of the person that died. And the statutory beneficiaries in a wrongful death case are the spouse, if there is a spouse, children, if there are children, and parents, if there are parents that are living. The types of damages in wrongful death are a little bit different than in normal. You're entitled to pecuniary damages, which are, what is the loss of income, what's the cost of the medical bills, what's the loss of life. The surviving heirs are entitled to mental anguish type compensatory damages. The people liable for wrongful death are those that are responsible for an accident. If it's an accident, it can be a company, it can be a trucking company, it can be a person if it was just a normal car accident, it can be a product manufacturer. So there's many possible responsible people that you look to when you have a wrongful death. I've handled a number of wrongful death cases over the years. I've had experience in defending those cases as well as prosecuting those cases from a plaintiff's standpoint. I think my past clients and current clients would say that I'm very involved in their case, that I know what I'm doing, I'm very experienced, that I've given them good advice. I hope to give them good advice. I think they trust me, and trust between a client and the lawyer is probably the most important thing. Client communication is very important. It's important for me to get back to my client as soon as possible. I try to get back to my client. If they call me that day, I'm trying to get back to them that day. Sometimes that's difficult because sometimes you're off in court or meetings or that sort of thing. But I am very mindful that a client, when they call me as their lawyer, they're wanting to know something. And when people want to know something, they're entitled to get an answer back as quickly as possible. So I'm going to try to get back to you, the client, as quickly as I can. I'm a small firm. I'm what we call a solo practitioner. I have assistants, but I'm the only lawyer in my firm. I've got other lawyers in the same building with me that I consult with, so it's not like that it's just me. Sometimes I step next door and talk to another lawyer and say, hey, give me your advice about this. I feel like it's a real advantage to the client being a solo practitioner because I'm personally involved in their case step by step, all the way through from calling our office the very first time to taking your case to court. During a wrongful death case, on the initial consultation, I'm going to want to know everything about the person that died. Their life story is very important, and being able to tell that story to a jury when you ultimately get to court. Then I need to know everything about the accident, how it occurred, how the death occurred, whether it was an instantaneous death or whether it was a death that, may have happened 6 months or maybe even a year after an accident. So those are the main things in a wrongful death case that I'm going to want to find out about in the initial consultation.